It's always so sad that no one gets to see my little Merri Hour theme song, Shoulder Shuffle. Every time.
It's like that? It's like that?
Something like that, yeah. Whatever people who can't dance might do during that lovely jingle we have.
That is me to the 100th degree.
Yeah, I feel like that's why we're friends, because we're not dancers and we're bar huggers.
Yeah.
What do you
bar hugger? That's actually I've never heard that.
Do when you're a groomsman at a wedding? Do you dance?
Hang out?
You don't dance, though.
It depends. It depends how it's going, what the vibe is, what the setup is. Like, is it a live band? Is it a DJ? Is it all these things? But like, I don't know. Like, you can be a conversationalist at weddings. I think that's the fun part to me of just like talking to random people and like, I don't know who you are. Like, let's have a weird conversation.
It's definitely that's definitely my approach. Yeah. I don't go anywhere near that dance floor. Nobody wants me on that dance floor. Trust me.
Have a few drinks and then see what happens.
I've tested that out. It doesn't work too well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of folks here. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes, Billy Hader. I like that.
Billy Hader.
Brandon saw Strange World 2 days ago. It was decent. Animation classes are going great. Happy to hear that. We've got Annabelle here. How are you two adding so many superpowers to your awesomeness? Think you'd be full by now. Matt, if you had to designate something your superpower, what would it be?
Procrastination.
I was hoping you would go in a positive direction.
Oh, positive direction. Optimism. Golden retriever energy.
All right, golden retriever energy is a good one. I feel like we should have done it for each other.
I'm trying to think now, like what actual.
Yeah.
Being able to write a festival review in under an hour before.
That's a good one.
That's my actual superpower.
Mine would be going from socially awkward to being able to flip a switch and actually conduct a conversation during a Q&A or an interview.
There you go. That works.
There's a superpower for you. Or doing word puzzles and word games. There's a superpower.
Unnecessary puns. There you go. That's one for me.
It's a worthwhile power to have. Travis wants to know, when's Perri going to jump ship to Hive? So you're on Hive.
I am.
This is so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
So like, here's the thing. Like, I'm still using Twitter primarily. But I definitely made my Hive so that at least I have a Donato bomb should Twitter die randomly. Like, we already know it's in the shithole, but like, should it become unusable, or should I, for whatever reason, I grab my Hive just in case. But like, I don't know. The vibe is kind of like, I think Phil Noble like tweeted out, he's like, Hive kind of feels like everyone ditched like the main party and went into the woods and is just kind of like hanging out, having a good time, like away from everything else. And like, that is kind of the vibe. Like, everyone is there just like, what is Hive? What is this thing? And like, it's a weird thing of like feeling like you're starting over. I feel like it's pretty easy on Twitter to get like branded as something, or like, I don't know, you're this or that. And like, you have a brand in a way. So like, Hive is a cool way to like, I don't know, it just feels more pleasant at the moment, which all social media will get taken over at some point by like some kind of like, and it will become what we kind of know. But like, I don't know, Hive feels good right now.
Okay. I mean, I'm tempted. I'm not really worried about someone like stealing the handle Perri Nemiroff, but I guess that could happen. I don't know.
Hey, you don't know.
I guess I don't, but I don't really care about that, to be honest. The thing that's keeping me off Hive right now is the thought of adding like, obviously I know what's going on with Twitter. I know the risk that I run by staying there and not exploring another platform, but man, I just like don't have the bandwidth to do it again.
Well, I guess so. Like, that's why I said like it's kind of like my backup right now. Like, I'm not actively like using Hive to post my work, to do it, like promote myself in that way. Like, right now is like Hive is for me is a bunch of people that I already know, and they all went over to Hive, and we all kind of started like just kind of like using it that way. So I'll log on once a day to post some like stupid picture or something like that. But it's kind of cool because here's my pitch and sell. It's
Okay.
like Twitter and Instagram had a baby, and it's like kind of like it's early stages. Literally 2 people on staff, maybe 3 or 4 at this point. They've started to like obviously ramp up because things are going crazy over there. But you get like you could do text posts or you can do picture posts, and it kind of just like seamlessly goes together where it's not like Twitter where it's kind of more text based or Instagram where it's more picture based. They fit nicely, they fit snugly together, and you can separate your profile page to either text, picture, or both. So like that gives you the real view of like, oh, do I just want to see like my Instagram, right? Or like, do I want to see the Instagram?
Okay.
Do I want to see the Twitter? So like it's pretty
Interesting.
cool. Also, it adds a little MySpace because you can have a profile song now.
Yeah.
And so like when people log onto your
Oh my
profile,
God.
they'll play a song like MySpace. So I was like, it's the best of all worlds.
All right. It's a pretty good sell. I have a feeling I'll jump into it eventually, but
Yeah.
like
No, I know,
I just got going well with TikTok. Like one damn thing at a time.
Yeah. Hive is a in case Twitter implodes,
Yeah.
emergency button.
Makes sense. I mean, you never know. It could definitely happen. Tommy's here. Happy post-Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope that you are continuing to have nothing short of a safe, fun, and festive kickoff to your holiday season. Now, who has the best question? Tommy
We have a super chat already.
Daring you all. First super chat of the show is from Victor Spell 1. What's up, Perri? First of all, happy birthday. Thank you very much. No matter your age, you're still an awesome movie buff. Oh, gee, thanks. Remind me of that every single year I get older, please. Question: what 3 movies are you excited for next year?
I was peeping the 2023 calendar while you were talking.
I'll do that as well. I mean, I'll tell you the first one that comes to my mind because it is the highest priority for me in 2023. Everybody who is here can likely guess what it is. It is Scream, which we still don't have a name for.
No trailer yet.
The next Scream movie. Did you see photos are leaking though?
I did see that. Yes.
There is a curious looking wig in one of those photos.
We only seen pictures. We don't know how it's going to turn out. I am so like looking at the calendar, like 100% Renfield. I am excited for Renfield.
That's a good one.
I'm excited for some Nicolas Cage vampire shenanigans, and I don't know, it just looks fun.
I am shockingly excited for Dungeons and Dragons.
That's fair.
I really want to play too. Who will let me play Dungeons and Dragons with them?
I know
really suck people. And ruin the game because I don't have a creative bone in my body. I like to celebrate other people's creativity. So like I'll be lame and I'll ruin the game. But I really want to try. I want to try.
I know multiple people who host who are dungeon masters to say, but like not just for Dungeons and Dragons. Like Monocle hosts like an aliens themed one. Like they do like movie themes one. Like I did one that was like Lovecraft. So basically it was like you're in a Lovecraftian mystery and like the dungeon master guides you through that. So yeah, if you really want that, you can open that door.
I really genuinely do, but you need to make sure that you suggest a DM to me who will be patient with me.
It's not. Trust me, most DMs would be like. That's the thing. They don't want to chase people out of a game. Like they want more people to come into it and to feel welcome.
And my mentality. Like I know that's the general feel for Dungeons and Dragons. My problem beyond just that particular game is that I don't like playing games unless I'm really, really good at them right out the gate.
But like, there's no being. It's like it's more storytelling.
I know.
It's not like
being
good at it.
Like it doesn't fully compute for me right now the way that my brain works. But I'm sure that if I jumped in and actually tried it, I'd be fine.
It was like the one I did. Like I played this. Like I played a bartender character who was like kind of helping solve the mystery, and I became the chaos agent because for me, we're telling a story. Like why would we want to tell the most boring version? So like when we're running away from something, it'd be like, the action would be like, do you run away or do you confront this weird noise, the demon? Mm-hmm. And like everyone's like, oh yeah, run away, and I'll be like, no, I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna go do this thing, and I'm just like, because it tells a fun story. So like, I don't know, there's no winning. It's just it's like pushing the DM in a way to like kind of have to interact and like, or it was Jacob Hall was the DM for it, and he's just like rolling his eyes and sighing half the time, like, all right, well, now you're insane because you went towards the thing you shouldn't have, and now you're like literally reckless and
Yeah.
you could turn against your team. And I'm like, cool.
This all sounds very, very on brand for you.
Yeah, 100%.
So I've said Scream, Dungeons and Dragons, and I'll throw in Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Evil Dead Rise has to be there for me, but like I mean, we are getting Furiosa, right? Or sorry, Mad Max Wasteland or whatever it's called. Like at this
and
point,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I know
Yeah.
we're both pretty high on.
Yeah, exactly. Like so, those are high. Like I am just scrolling through really quickly, but like I don't know.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is another one that I'm really, really eager to see.
There's so much coming out that like I didn't realize. Like obviously, like we're still stuck in 2022, and like I'm still trying to go and watch all the freaking like for your consideration movies that are piling up on my dresser at this point. But like
there are so many
stacked.
packages for me in LA in the like Amazon
Oh, yeah.
lockers. Someone in my leasing office is going to get really, really mad when I don't come back until the end of the first week of December.
Yep. Nope. That's not gonna be good.
Meg 2, The Trench.
Yo, the Meg's good. I stand by the Meg's fun.
That might have come across sarcastically, but I really like the first Meg movie, and I also really like the first Meg book. And maybe before The Trench comes out, I'll read that one.
That's Ben Wheatley, right? Didn't Wheatley get that one?
He's stuck with it too. It's not like
I think.
Yeah, he's definitely directing that. That's such like a weird pairing, but I'm okay with it.
I dig it. No, Wheatley's a weird director. If they let him do his kind of like thing, let's say, I think the Meg 2 could be incredibly fun.
The Nun 2. I'm curious about that.
I'm pro Nun.
Here's a big one for me. If I could pick 4, I would definitely have this on my list as well. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I just finished reading that book, and that book is pretty damn good. It's like way better than I was anticipating. I don't know how much I told you about this, Matt, but I like loved the Hunger Game franchise. It was a really big deal when I was first like getting going in this business, and I was a big fan of the books. Yeah. They were like some of the best books like that. Really, some of the best books I think I ever have read in my life. They just like those books are just great, like super entertaining, and I love them. When they announced Songbirds and Snakes, it's like, after all of that, why would I want to go back in time and see the Hunger Games happen before the events of the first 2 movies, at least? Well, Suzanne Collins proved me wrong. That is a good prequel book. Like, it is actually a really interesting story for who ultimately becomes President Snow, and Rachel Zegler's got a damn good role for herself in that movie. If they make the most of that character, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like the perfect fit for someone like her.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it was. I like the movies, obviously. I didn't get into the books, and I was not reading the Hunger Games as they were coming out. But yeah, that is crazy to think back that like I still remember doing like the junkets for those Hunger Games movies and stuff like that, and going to screenings, and it feels so long ago. It feels like literally so long ago.
I have a question for you, Matt. What was your very first junket?
It was, I want to say Taken 2.
Wait, before you even answer, just in case anyone doesn't know what that word is, because I just had this conversation with someone recently. Okay. Junket basically equals press day. And usually what happens is, let's say it's a single day where a studio gets all the talent from their movie into one hotel, and they just knock out as many interviews as they possibly can super fast. They'll do a whole bunch of TV interviews, a whole bunch of print interviews. They'll do a big press conference, everything. So that's what we're talking about right now.
So my first overall junket to go to was for Taken 2. And it was like, so my first interview ever was Liam Neeson at a round table. I didn't ask anything because I was like, baby writer, like what is a round table even? What's going on? Table. And there were so many people though, they overbooked the round table. So I had to sit in like a recliner outside of the round table itself. So like I wasn't asking a question, but it was still like, I walk in a room and like Liam Neeson's sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what am I doing here? But my first video junket was Insidious 2. And so like my first ever on camera junket was like me, Patrick Wilson, and Rose Byrne doing it for an interview. And Patrick Wilson ate up 2 minutes of my 4 minutes talking about my Freddy Krueger Nikes because he's like a sneakerhead. So like he just went off. He's like, "Oh my god, dude, these are so cool! Like, where'd you get them?" And like Roseburne's like politely just sitting there laughing and smiling, but like all of a sudden, we like he's 2 minutes in, and again, my first junket, so I don't think to cut him off. Like I'm not gonna tell Patrick Wilson, "Excuse me, please stop," so I can do this. And the PR rep's like, "Okay, you have 2 minutes," and Patrick Wilson turns around like mortified, and he's like, "Oh no, give him like 2 more. That was my fault." And she's like, "No." And so like, cool. So I got a 2-minute interview with Patrick Wilson and Roseburne.
I vividly remember that junket. It was like was it at the Waldorf?
Yeah.
I think it was at the Waldorf, and I remember the Insidious ice cream truck parked outside.
I still have my little Insidious lantern because
So
I kept it. Yeah, I kept it as like
in the next room. I
a
love that
memento,
lantern.
yeah.
It's a nice little flashlight to have too if you need it. I think I know for a fact that the first interview I ever conducted over the phone was with Clifton Collins Jr. And I think it was for the Boondock Saints sequel. So I think he was technically my very first interview. My first in-person junket was for The House of the Devil. So it was Ty and Greta Gerwig.
Okay.
And then my first on-camera junket ever, I did it for MTV, and it was for She's Out of My League.
Yeah, I love that movie. I love She's Out of My League.
Given your story about having to sit on the side of a round table, one of the very first round tables I ever did, I can't remember specifically which movie it was for because it happened to have been a double junket. It was The Loss of the Teardrop Diamond with Bryce Dallas Howard and Young Victoria with Emily Blunt. And it was in like February or something, and I had walked over to the junket location from my apartment. And like it was cold and it was snowy outside, and I walked in and I was like a little sniffly because when you come in from the cold you're a little sniffly, and I sat down, and like I was ambitious. I sat down in the seat next to the talent, and one of the old guard reporters was like, "If you're sick, you can't sit there." And she made me move, and she didn't like forcibly make me move. I was like a big baby who didn't stand up for herself. But literally the entire round table filled out, and I sat on like the radiator heating system against the window.
Just like ostracized from the entire group.
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
I'm going through my authory because literally, like you said, like the first interview ever. I'm trying to think of like Liam Neeson. Like, I don't think it could have been the first, but like I just going through and like all the South by interviews we've done and like all the people we've gotten to talk to. Like, holy shit.
There's certain interviews I will not go back to and reread or re-listen. I definitely went through, like, there were 3 phases. There was the ill-informed phase when like I was very, very new and green. Then I turned into the obnoxious film school student where I was asking like stupidly specific questions based on whatever I was learning in school at the time. But then I balanced it all out, and I think I've gotten better since then. But sometimes when I go back and I read or watch those earlier ones, I'm like, what were you thinking?
Oh yeah, no. I agree. The only way I feel like in this industry more than any industry, like the only way to really figure out how to do things or what works for you is just to do them, and that means fucking up. Like you're going to write some reviews that like I've read back some of my early stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck was I, like literally what was I trying to do? Yeah.
There's like especially when I was first starting out and I really had no idea what went into making a film or a show. I don't know. It's not like I was disrespectful and like name calling or anything like super low, but I'm like, like, what were you thinking? This is like someone's job and passion. You don't need to phrase it that way, you dum-dum.
Well, I mean, it is about like, what the industry is at that time. And like when you go back to, I think, going back to my first ever writing, not even for like a paid for like my blog or whatever like that. I mean, it was like 2010, like late 2000s. Yeah. And to be fair, the popular criticism forums at the time online were things like Ain't It Cool and sites like that. So like that was what we were reading the most of. Like the way we were reading and the way that we were consuming and learning was unfortunately from sites like that. So it's like, you look a decade more later and the evolution of the people who either stayed that way and didn't evolve, or the people who did and are now thriving. I think that's a telltale. Like, we're going to be influenced no matter what by our surroundings and what we're reading. But at the same time, there are ways to be like, oh no, though maybe that's not the best way.
Yeah. As you gotta live and learn and put yourself on a better path as you figure it all out. And we certainly did. All right. I think we had
Try
another.
to.
Yeah, try. Always trying, always growing. We have Vincent here. Hey, Perry and Matt watched Andor and loved it. I need to binge Andor. I have
Yeah,
so much binge
it's
watching to
good.
do
Mm-hmm.
right now. I'm doing pretty well with my potential Oscar contenders. Guess what I'm watching on the way to my next trip? I'm gonna finally watch Elvis. It's downloaded and
There
on
you
my
go.
iPad, and I have a lot of time on that flight to eat up.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect opportunity to watch it. But other than that, I'm pretty good with movies. The thing that I'm buried in right now is shows for Critics' Choice because I'm in both. I'm on both branches, and
Yeah.
I'm plowing through quite a few series at this point. So Andor's on the list. I keep saying this, but I will watch House of the Dragon soon. Right now, I'm watching A Friend of the Family, though. That's
Okay.
my current TV binge watch.
I have to. I want to watch Chucky immediately. I've just put it off too long for other assignments, and I need to binge that. But yeah, like I'm not in TV, so I can tell you very much. Like I am doing my best for film, and that's all I can do. Like, and even that, like, there's so much still just piling up.
No, it's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah. Do you want to? So we hit our super chats. I'll start picking some questions here. Jonathan wants to know if we've seen Wednesday on Netflix. We actually reviewed Wednesday last week, so go back, check that out if you missed it. But I loved it, and I believe Matt, you were positive, but like just below me on the Dewey Decimal movie scale.
It's good on the official Do It movie scale. No, it's cute. It's fine. It's Jenna Ortega rules. Like
yeah. Jenna Ortega does rule.
Just like took over the horror sphere in 2022. Like literally, this is her year for horror.
Travis, I was this close to doing just that and being obnoxious about it, but I'm going to suck it up and watch it because it looks like it's got a whole lot of opportunities to get some Oscar nominations.
I mean, like like outside of the music, outside of like songs and stuff like that. You really think so?
Yeah, I think it. I literally was just going through my Gold Derby and updating some stuff. I don't have. I think I actually did put it in my number 10 spot now for Best Picture. I do think it might have a chance there. A lot of it's going to depend on Emancipation and Avatar also. I think those are the last two big ones left that no one has seen. So, if Avatar really is like gold and James Cameron did it, there's going to be a very real chance that we're talking about that for a Best Picture nomination.
That's fair.
I do. Looking at how the Best Actor race is shaken out, I do think Austin Butler has a real chance there. I think he's putting in the work to get that nomination too. So I'm not counting that out. And then you have to also consider all the technical categories too, like costume design in particular. It seems like it's got a really good chance there. I will fully admit I need to be paying attention to this movie and I need to be in the know on it. So I am going to watch it ASAP.
No, we're all going to get to it. I mean, that's the thing. Voting takes place at the end of December or like later than that even. So it's like you don't have to have seen it's well, yeah, it's like you don't have to have seen everything yet. Like we're allowed to approach for your considerations as they come.
There's a lot of those. I can't wait to see what's in my mailbox when I get back. Some Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, we got a ton.
Somewhat. So on FYC that went live this morning, we did a what we're thankful for in movies. And I said, I'm thankful for horror in 2022 because it's been such a good year for horror. And I rattled off a whole bunch of movies that I love in the genre. And I didn't name Barbarian. And someone in the comments was like, why did you skip it? Have you not seen Barbarian? And I'm like, no, I'm one of very few people on this planet who did not really like Barbarian, but I'm glad everyone else likes it so much.
It's always my favorite comment when you post a list or you post something. It's like, oh, you forgot this. And it's like, no, I didn't. No, I just don't agree with you. Like, then that's fine.
Yeah, the comment was fine. It was just like, no, I am still like one of very few people who did not get aboard the hype train for that one.
Meanwhile, I'm on the other side of it. I am the hype train.
Yeah.
I love Barbarian. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people love Barbarian.
It's so good.
Sorry, were you gonna pick one? I really want to answer this.
No, that's fine. Go.
I've seen this movie a couple times now. This is a really, really well done, refined, highly effective movie. Right now, Glass Onion is in my best picture prediction list, and I feel really good about it happening. So this week it has its 1 week theatrical run, and then it disappears for a while, and then it hits Netflix globally on December 23rd. And I think that it's going to wind up serving it well, because you have a whole bunch of like hardcore Rian Johnson fans and then some coming out to see the movie and hyping it up right now. But we're not going to worry about this one peaking and then fizzling out, because then the enthusiasm is going to continue through to December. And I just have a feeling that that lengthy period of talk with that movie is really going to get it. I have high hopes for the Best Picture nomination. Like, most of all, I really want to see that happen. But I'm also thinking that he could get another screenplay nomination for this one, because, like, yet again, this is like, murder mysteries are not an easy thing to pull off, and he just does it so incredibly well, and does it in a way where it really is kind of like the ultimate rewatch experience, where every single time you see the movie, you catch more and more, and it becomes like more and more rewarding for viewers. So I think this one's going to be a big winner this season.
Yeah, I see it next week, so I will have more thoughts after I see it next week. I see Violent Night next week. I see that next week. I see Avatar in like 2 weeks, so we got some good stuff still coming up on the screening schedule.
I've got high hopes that I obviously can't speak to Avatar because I haven't seen it, but I think you're really going to dig Glass Onion, and same with Violent Night. I think obviously it's going to be two different types of digging those movies because they're very different, but I think they're going to be right up your alley.
I think Violent Night is made for me in a way, as long as it's the movie that I think it will be.
I suspect it will. We still can't do like a full review of that though, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. So I can't go beyond what I already tweeted, but I liked what I got. I liked what I got. Nice. We have a couple of super chats here. So here's the first one. I didn't miss any before this, right? I don't think I did. Well, you do that, I'll read.
Yeah, I do not think you did.
Okay. So Vincent wants to know, hey, Perri, I have a project for film school, and it's about film criticism. Would you like to be a critic I interview on Zoom? Matt, is this the same person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sweet. We were just talking about you, Vincent. And yes, we will. I think you DM'd Matt, so we'll chat. We'll chat. But this is that's really cool that you're in film school and you're exploring criticism, which is a wild and very exciting field to be looking at. So yes,
Crazy.
We will be in touch. All right, next one here. The Jughead. How you doing, my friend? Hi, Perri and Matt. What films/programs are you both looking forward to next year? I'm looking forward to the new Daredevil series and Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's another half. Here it is. I prefer the more grounded and realistic superhero movies. By the way, I have just followed the both of you on Twitter under my old YouTube. Thank you for the follow. I'm trying to think of what shows are coming out next year. Has Yellow Jackets been confirmed for a return in 2023? It has to, because they're filming now.
I would assume as much.
Well, that is at the top of my list. I cannot wait for more of that show. So Yellow Jackets on Showtime, because we were just talking about Rian Johnson. I can't wait to see Poker Face, the show he has on Peacock with Natasha Lyonne. That cast is stacked too. I want to pull it up so I can name more people.
Yeah, go for it.
But oh my God, that looks quite good. People keep confusing it with the Poker Face movie that just came out.
I was gonna say, like there's a Poker Face movie, right? Like I was
literally just came out, because I saw like someone in a Slack I'm in was like, I got Poker Face screeners, and I'm like, what? How do I get
that one? That one already?
Natasha Lyonne, Colton Ryan. There's many more. I'm going down the list. Adrian Brody, Hong Chow, Joseph
Yeah. Okay.
Gordon-Levitt, Tim Blake Nelson, Ron Perlman, Nick Nolte, Stephanie Shu, Benjamin Bratt, Lil Rel. My God. My God. This
Yeah, that's a
show.
stack cast.
This show sounds like my kind of thing.
You're the TV person more so there, so I will just piggyback and say, I mean, as long as all those are coming out in 2023, absolutely.
Matt, can I give you one TV suggestion though? And it's not
No,
like work suggestion. It's
no.
it's fun for when you need to like escape and pass the time and have like a bite-sized morsel of like fun and good vibes compared to like, the hour-long heavy format. Please binge Ghosts. I
I
really
did want
think
to. Yeah,
I
that one has
really
been on my radar.
deep down, I think you'll like it, and I think it'll feel like something that is, like, less about adding to your workload and more about just, like, simply being a good time.
Well, I mean, like I've told you what I watch in those moments, right? Like I am a food
Yeah,
competition, just like that is my comfort.
I
So it's
know.
like if it's lunch, if it's dinner, like that is the one thing we'll put on Hell's Kitchen, we'll put on MasterChef, whatever's ongoing. Like that is where my comfort vibes are, I guess to say. We just started Drink Master, which is all about cocktails and a
Oh,
cocktail competition
interesting.
on Netflix, which has been an
Huh,
interesting one.
that I might check out. If I check that out, you have to watch Ghosts.
Well, where is that streaming? Isn't that
It
Paramount?
airs on CBS, and it's a Paramount Plus
It's a
show.
Paramount Plus
Yeah,
show. So
but
that's the issue. It's like we don't
but
have Paramount Plus
it's not
readily
an issue
available.
because I know for a fact that if you'd like to watch Ghosts, or maybe if someone else in your household would like to watch Ghosts, they can get access to screeners.
Oh, okay. Fair. Touche.
Yes, I think it can happen. Do you wanna add anything to the Jugheads?
No, just that I kind of agree with the take on superheroes too. Like Hawkeye
Yeah.
was like my favorite Marvel show in a little bit. Like that was the one that like really stuck with me out of all of them.
Here's a good question from Chris.
I
Biggest
was looking.
surprise of 2022, Chippendale. I keep meaning to circle back to Chippendale. I heard some of the best things about that.
I'm the negative Nancy on that one. I thought it was a little too product placement.
Yeah, I thought I remembered you saying that.
Nah.
Shit. What's like my biggest I feel like I was just talking about this too. And like the way that I phrased it was it's not that I thought they would do a bad job, but it's just way bad. Um I mean, I guess man, this doesn't feel like the best answer to this question, but
Mhm.
I guess I just didn't expect to get a new Predator movie as good as Prey is.
I was looking
That's
at I was looking at Prey
that's
too.
an e that's an ex like, forget about it being a Predator sequel, prequel, whatever. That is just, like,
Mhm.
an exceptional movie. That is just, like, so well crafted and designed and acted. I could go on and on about Prey.
I'm looking at my list, and there's a movie called Project Wolf Hunting that came out and nobody talked about, but it is the log line is basically it's Con Air meets Resident Evil meets anything on a boat. So basically, it's this South Korean film where convicts are put on a giant freight vessel and they're being shipped somewhere to like a different area,
Okay.
and the Con Airness is they all get out and they all like start. It's a war between the police on the boat and the convicts. But then some crazy super beast gets loose on the boat as well that was there in like surprise. And it becomes crazy weird super beast like from Resident Evil versus convicts versus police. And it is insanely gory. It is like one of the goriest movies I've seen this year. Like someone gets like shot and like blood just starts like erupting from everywhere. It's
Mhm.
really fun. It's really energetic. And I don't know if it's actually on VOD at the moment because I had a theatrical run around Halloween. But it should be on VOD soon. And Project Wolf Hunting rules. That was my like surprise, like going to be in my top 10 this year.
Wow. Project Wolf Hunting is also a very good title.
Yeah, it's fucking oh my god, it's so much fun. So, but like also honestly for surprises, I mean, RRR. Like I'm gonna use that as a surprise because again, one of those movies that you don't expect
Mhm.
to, a 3 hour kind of epic like that. You have to
Yeah.
get me in the right mindset for, but it feels like an hour and a half. It just is full of energy. It is full of broship and everything that like I don't know. It's just so fun.
I feel like there's more surprises that aren't coming to my mind right now.
Technically, the Fallout came out in 2022.
Isn't that crazy? And, you know,
Wild.
the other one that I was thinking about earlier today that I will have in consideration for top 10 of 2022 is Dinner in
Mhm.
America. Because,
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I had seen that in 2020, but technically it is a
Hmm.
2022 release, so this would be the year that it would be eligible for top 10 lists, and there's a very good chance it's gonna make mine.
It's good. Dinner in America. It's like on the bubble for me. It's not quite dead set in it yet, but yeah, it's right
Yeah.
there.
I'm not dead set on it yet, but it's got a very good chance.
Yeah,
We have a
I'm
part
just looking down my list. Yeah,
we have a part
lots of
3 to
little
Jughead.
nuggets.
The
The
Jughead
Jugheads.
76 on Twitter. Love and respect from the UK, guys. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Right back at you. Neil's here. What's up, Neil? Hope you had a great birthday and Thanksgiving. Thoughts on the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special? And 2, how's Malcolm doing? P.S. Didn't love Barbarian either. I have not watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special yet. Have you?
Oh, I have. It's fun.
Okay.
It's very fun and very just like, you know, it's Gunn playing with these characters in a Christmas setting, and it becomes more about like Mantis and Drax having their own little like adventure than anything else. But I don't know, it's just really sweet. It's really wholesome. It is a good variation on Christmas specials using the Guardians of the Galaxy as you would hope they would be used. So I don't know. I had my fun with it. I'm not gonna say it's the best thing I've ever seen, but absolutely worth the like whatever 40 minutes or whatever it is.
Well, I guess that's probably one that I can download and take on the flight as well. So
Yeah,
I'm going to have a lot of airtime to fill up. So I might as well pick this one too. So I'll watch that soon. How's Malcolm doing? It's like stretched out on the floor behind me, like basking under these lights that are emitting absolutely no heat. So Malcolm is doing very, very well. And Neil is in the Didn't Love Barbarian Club with me. Thank you for not leaving me alone on that island, I guess.
You guys can go have the record meeting. Go ahead. Have fun.
Favorite movies this year: Batman, The Menu, Scream, and shit. Like, it's gonna be real damn hard to make top 10 lists.
I can tell you, yeah.
I don't think the Batman is like Batman's really good. I really liked it. I don't think that one's gonna come close, but The Menu, Scream, I almost spilled my drink. The Menu, Scream, and Prey are all like very much in consideration for me for top 10 of the year.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I'm looking at my list of things I reviewed, and I mean, like, my 4.5s this year alone, so like 4.5 out of 5, those are like secured to be in my top 10, are The Fallout, X, Cha-Cha Real Smooth, Everything Everywhere, RRR, Project Wolf Hunting, The Menu. So like that leaves 3 more dangling like places, and I still haven't seen a ton. So like
we might have more crossover this year than ever.
Yeah.
What about Marcel the Shell with Shoes On?
I liked Marcel. Okay. I like it's not a 4.5. I think it's like
that's
one notch
that's
below.
That's a 4.5 for me.
Yeah, it's like a notch below, so it's kind of teetering.
We also know that we differ a little on this one, but Bones and All is another 4.5 for me. That's another one. I'm gonna have to do like I'm not gonna do this. I'm just like saying it to make the comment, but I'm not gonna do this because it'd be too much work to do a top 20. Not doing it.
Don't do it. But yeah, Bones
if anything, maybe I'll make like an Instagram like photo slide thing to show what my 11 through 20 will be.
I like having the 20 slots because I feel like the top 10, like that's where some crossover happens. But then when you get to like the 10 through 20, it's where more of like the, you not going to say risks, but like it's where things get interesting, So good.
So much love for these titles.
I'm glad Dinner's getting like that kind of love too. Like I really do appreciate that it took so long to come out, but like the conversation still kept up and people are still talking about it.
Got another super chat. D-Train says the surprise of the year is Top Gun's box office
run. Was.
I mean, that's kind of fair. I don't even think it's just its box office run. I think it's also a matter of how good the movie is. Just very. I mean, actually, like now that I'm about to say this, I said some. I mean, I'm kind of saying something similar, I guess, about Glass Onion. I feel like it's a really strong year for sequels that are just as good, if not better than the original. In the case of Glass Onion, I keep saying that movie is just as good as the first Knives Out. I love it as much, but for different reasons. Top Gun's a little different. I feel like I got more of the same in a sense, which I think was by design, but I got it with the benefits of all the technology that filmmakers have at
Okay.
their fingertips today. So that's how I would differentiate the two. But good year for sequels.
Add Scream into there, you know. Look at so many sequels that kind of Prey. Like, sorry, that's a prequel technically, but
I have a, was Sonic this year? Sonic was this year, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, Sonic absolutely was this year.
That feels to me like it was years and years ago.
I everything feels like it. Again, like the amount of movies we watch now and how many we have to like cycle through it. Like it feels like we've seen something ages ago, but it's just because we've seen a billion movies this year since then. There's also I don't think you hit
Yeah,
Travis.
go for it. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Travis.
No, you're good.
I'm
You're good.
looking forward to a season 2 of Sandman. Hope you liked the horror shirts. Oh, I have them. I have them like right over there. When I got back to New York, that was the first thing I looked at. They are lovely, Travis.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I liked Sandman season 1 well enough. I can't say I'm like super enthusiastic counting down like I would be to, Yellow Jackets because I just mentioned it, or another season of Cobra Kai, or even another season of Wednesday now for that matter. But I did like it and I enjoyed covering it.
Yeah, I'm in on it. As someone again who has not read the source material and came into it with no knowledge of anything, kind of just like getting lost in the whole epicness of it all. So I'm good on it. Yeah, absolutely. Give me more.
All right, we have Hoshi here. Perry and Matt, name of the movie at TIFF with Lone Wolf Soldier. I think you're talking about Sisu. That
Right.
the movie about the soldier who has to fight off the Nazis who tried to take his gold. It is
Got it.
very, very good. Matt, you need to see this movie when it's available. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard
I was gonna say
anything
I don't
about
know.
distribution. I'm not
Uh,
yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet. There's a lot of movies that I saw at TIFF that I heard nothing about distribution on still, and I
that's
find it
fair.
very disappointing. But that is a very good movie. Um, Luis is here. Is it just me? Or there haven't been as many films that could be nominated for the Oscars? I don't know. I think it depends what category you're looking at, but it feels like we're playing. I don't know. Maybe it's also the Gold Derby structure giving me this mentality, but it feels like we're playing with with a similar amount of titles that we usually do at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, like that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of hype for movies that are getting mixed reactions. I guess is the way to say it. Where, you know, the Babylons of the world and things of that nature. Like everyone's hyping it up as to be the next big contender, and then all of
Dude,
a
I
sudden a
can't.
reaction out of that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do. I think there aren't going to be many movies that can get nominated. Like the thing is that things are going to get nominated. So like we're always going to have movies that are. I don't know. I don't feel like it's been a particularly weak year, but
No. I think if anything, I think we're having a real damn good year for film in
yeah.
general, whether it's,
Mhm.
things that we just consider our favorites or things that are actually in contention for Academy Award nominations. I'm like
Yeah.
feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah.
Travis is back with another. I finally found the original The Time Machine on
Mhm.
YouTube Movies, but cannot find Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell on any streaming site, only trailers. Do you guys have that problem with movies? Let's see if I could
Depends.
find an answer for you right now, actually. With Stranger
I
Than
mean,
Fiction.
there's so many weird movies that you can't find anywhere. Like there are so like there's titles that you assume are just going to be
No,
streaming somewhere
he's
or
right.
yeah. Yeah, so like some movies rights
Weird.
distributions they don't have any rights settled out or like like the distro just isn't there. So
Hmm.
I do have that problem sometimes. I mean, it's just the weird thing of like thinking that like, oh, where can I stream Knives Out? Like, obviously, you can stream that on Netflix right now because they're doing the next one, right? And like, no, like it's not there. Like, you have to like go searching for it.
Um, yeah. I guess it's gotten more and more complicated with the rise of streaming services and how these
Yeah,
deals change and everything. But For what it's worth, whenever I wanna know, like, really quickly, like, within a push of a button where I can screen something, I always go to justwatch.com,
Yeah,
and
so
it's
I
just, like
use.
it's a great resource, and it's super easy to use, and then when it gives you your results, it presents them in a really clear, clickable manner.
Yeah.
I love that site, but Stranger Than Fiction, according to,
Mhm.
Just Watch, is not available anywhere, so I'm sorry
And
I don't have better
especially,
news for you, Travis.
yeah, and like when you start getting into the horror world too, like all those like kind of obscure horror movies
Yeah.
that have been floating around for years and stuff like that. Like sometimes when they're not streaming anywhere, YouTube is the only place. Like that's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
And not that I'd ever advocate watching something like that, but if it doesn't exist anywhere else,
Yeah.
then like it becomes hard.
We have another one from Lewis. What are your thoughts on Jason David Frank's passing, and could his Legend of the White Dragon film be released? I'm not quite sure the status of the film, but obviously we brought this up on our last show, but
Mhm.
man, his passing is just absolutely crushing on so many levels. If I'm talking from a personal perspective, I mean, obviously I grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I know I'm in good company when I say that his Tommy and Green Ranger and White Ranger were some of my absolute
Yeah.
favorites.
Mhm.
And it's been a major career highlight to have an opportunity to meet him quite a few times over the years. And the thing that I keep thinking about right now, especially given how much award season Q&As and panels have picked up, is the fact that, like, he was one of my first, I think he was my very, very first Comic-Con panel. It was at Amazing Con in Las Vegas, and I was moderating his showcase panel, and I was nervous. I was so nervous, but I really don't think there could have been a better first for me than him. He was just so kind and loving towards me and towards the audience. He was game to do whatever I suggested. He just,
Mhm.
like, he really made it a breeze. And I do think, in any sense, and in this case I'm talking about comic convention panel moderating, like, your first can make a very big impression on you. So the fact that he
Oh, of
kicked things
course.
off in that department for me on such a positive note, I definitely think has been a major influence in terms of how I treat and look at those opportunities going forward, and including right now. So he will always have a very special place in my heart, and it pains me to think that we're in a world without him right now.
Yeah. Sad. Sad, sad.
Really is.
Um
You wanna pick some? Oh, I'm sorry,
I was
did
gonna
I
say,
just do
no,
that?
you're
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Uh, Namer, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, I apologize if I did not. Favorite horrors of the year: Nope, Resurrection, Pearl, Speak No Evil. I didn't say Resurrection on FYC, that's a great call, that movie's
Yeah,
awesome.
Resurrect. I was gonna say, I'm still sitting at like X is on top of my horror. Wolf
Yeah.
hunting has got to be there because that's what I said before. Like, and then not to forget, like the Black Phone is right there for me.
Oh, yeah, Black
Um,
Widow too.
Watcher, like just so good. In
Speak
a
No Evil is quite good too, but
speaking of yours,
I have a
fucked
very
up.
hard time calling that a favorite of the year, because that movie messed me up.
It's one of those like I loved it. I'm so happy I've seen it. Probably not gonna go revisit
I'll
it anytime
never
soon.
I'll never watch that movie ever again,
Well,
and
that's how it's designed that way.
it's meant to be, like, I know that's what they got the emotion and the reaction out of me that the movie intended on getting, but
Mhm.
it's a complicated situation when you're like, "It is a really well done movie, but do I recommend that you see it?" I
Hard.
I don't know.
Actually, this is a good time to plug one of my favorite horror movies is coming out next year. Or sorry, next week. And it's like closing the year on a really high note. It's called The Harbinger, and it is
Oh, I remember
a
you talking about that.
yeah. Just the quick sell is like I don't know how I still feel about like COVID set horror movies because like filmmakers are still figuring out how to blend lockdown and all these things into their horror movies. But Harbinger so far is I think it's the best conception I've ever seen of it. And it is just basically it's during lockdown in early times, like everyone's still wiping down their groceries and stuff like that. And you can't leave your apartment, you can't do these things, but this like demon appears to this woman. And it just it blends everything about the period, but it
Oh.
does it in a way that takes the background because the real story is the Harbinger, and it's really well done. And I just don't want to say anything else about it.
Where is that going to be
VOD.
available?
It'll be VODable. So
Cool.
just next week, just look for the Harbinger on your VOD services if you're a horror fan.
I like the sound of that.
It's good.
Can Lightyear get into Best Animated Feature? My current prediction is no. I enjoyed the movie, and I think Socks is one of the greatest animated characters ever created, but I think there is just too much competition. And my big, bold prediction, and I say bold because we're still so early in the season, but I don't think any animated movie has a chance of touching Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I think that race is over, and he has it in the bag.
All right. I haven't watched it yet. I trust you on that. That's one we're watching soon. That's on the top of the list.
It's good. It's really good.
Oh, and I haven't seen Wendell and Wild yet either. We just got
I still have to watch Wendell and Wild.
Yeah.
That you got like a box for that, right? Or something?
Wendell and Wild, they sent a Henry Selick signed picture, which is very nice. So
well,
that's waiting for you, don't worry.
Getting that. Yeah. I love when I go on social media during like the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
And I see what everyone's getting because like then I know what's waiting for me when I get back.
I know what's in my Amazon lockers.
Yeah, really. if my leasing office doesn't remove them all before I get there. Yeah, I think this is the case. So Marcel would be my number 2 right now in that category, but I don't think it has a chance of topping Pinocchio.
It's interesting to me that is animated.
Largely stop motion.
I guess it's fair.
Yeah.
I guess the live action component like makes
stop motion, but in a live action environment. So
okay, all right. Yeah, it's not going to win though.
No, it's not gonna win. I want it to. Part of me wants it to win just because I love it so much, but I also love Pinocchio. So I don't care which one wins. Actually, I love them both. I wish it was a tie. What are the odds of a tie?
To think too that like there are other films out there like Turning Red that are still like they're right there for animation, and it's like there's so much to really.
Were you finishing your sentence?
No, I was letting you go because you put that up.
Well, this comment could be legit. I've been hearing some good things.
Seriously?
Yeah. Have you seen the trailers for this movie?
Puss in Boots 2? No.
The animation in it looks absolutely stunning. They have like a different style and like type of rendering this time, and it's like especially beautiful imagery. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out.
I mean, we have a screener for it. I immediately just stashed it away because I'm like, oh, Puss in Boots 2. Do I have to watch? Like, why do I even?
That is what I'm gonna watch tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay, I'll push Puss in Boots up on my watch list.
So here's a good one. A24 is about to have a killer award season.
I was gonna say, yeah.
They have The Whale, which I think is going
Brendan Fraser.
It does feel like Brendan Fraser is definitely going to get that award. And personally, I think he should. I did finally see the movie, and I was already buying into the hype based on other people's reactions to his performance. But now that I've seen it, it is even more undeniable to me. He is very good in that movie, and so is the entire ensemble. I know she's a bit on the bubble now, but I would like to see either Hong Chow or Sadie Sink get into the supporting actress conversation there. A24 also has The Inspection, which if you haven't seen that, it's really good. I don't know if that's gonna, build enough buzz to actually get an Oscar nomination, but it will be talked about the rest of the year.
It's interesting to me because I kind of feel like everyone's only talking about Brendan Fraser in The Whale, and I feel like that's like, do you think it's gonna get other nominations there? Because like it's a Darren Aronofsky film, and like I feel like I haven't heard his name at all mentioned.
I don't think he's going to get it. I mean, I also am obviously aware of like the divisive reaction to the film, and like I get it. It's like it's kind of like a mean-ish movie at times where it's like it's 2+ hours of people being mean to it, like really, really mean to each other. and it's, it's got purpose. Like I very much see what they're going for with that, but it's not the easiest watch. And because of the way it's shot, I mean, it's a play adaptation. This is, and
Right.
it's a play
Right.
adaptation. And personally, I think this is something that Darren Aronofsky should get credit for. But often when we're thinking about who's going to get nominated for a Best Director award, it's, someone where the directing is very visible. And with The Whale, it's more like Aronofsky set the space and like entrusted his actors to do what they needed to do with the role, and has like a very light touch on the camera, and it's a performance showcase. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
A24's awards team is smart about it, they'll keep the focus on the performances because that's where it has the best shot.
That's fair.
I was
Yeah.
just looking up
A24. Because and like we have to think that like A24 also has everything. Like, does Everything Anywhere have any kind of like acting chance? Like, or like
Yes.
any? It
Oh,
does.
without
Okay.
a doubt.
Okay.
I think Ke Huy Quan is going to win Best Supporting Actor. I think
Really?
he's the front runner and likely winner there. I think Michelle Yeoh is definitely going to get a Best Actress nomination. I think that's a done deal. Jamie Lee Curtis seems to be moving into a good position for Best Supporting Actress. I think that if I
Really?
was choosing between two supporting actresses in that movie, I would give it to Stephanie Hsu. She's got, in my mind, the bigger, more challenging role, especially as someone who's like a little newer to the industry than the veterans all around her. And like she really nails every single level of that performance to me. Not that Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't, but I'm just saying if I had to pick between the two, I know who I would give the nomination to. So I think it's going to do very, very well.
Because I think that was the conversation we had, like over the summer or something, like a while ago. But the conversation was like, does Everything Everywhere have the sustainability to stay in the conversation until award season and actually get the nomination?
Yes.
So
I think so.
cool.
Like I think that's going to be one of those cases where the buzz just keeps building and building and building, like somewhat similar to Coda.
Perfect.
So
does it squeak in for best Best Picture? It does. Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty damn good about that getting a Best Picture nomination.
We have to start over.
Oh.
We have to start over. Sorry.
Sure, why not?
All right. Let's rewind it.
I was looking up the Independent Spirit Awards too, because we keep talking about Oscars, but I knew The Inspection had gotten a couple there, and
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, well, I did see somebody post this on Twitter, so I'm borrowing their words, and also because I believe this was really the case. The Whale hasn't screened all that much beyond festivals, so I don't necessarily think it's screened for like these bodies that are giving the nomination. So I think that's what happened to that one. Okay. But the Inspection did get a Best Feature nomination there. Jeremy Pope, who's incredible in it, I believe he got a Best Lead Performance nomination. Gabrielle Union got a Best Supporting Performance nomination. I feel like there's more. Best First Feature for the director, Elegance Bratton got one. So, we might not be talking about a movie like The Inspection for the Academy Awards, but we are going to be talking about it a lot through award season just for other reasons.
Nice. Yes, the A24 box came, and like there's something The Inspection themed came in it, and I literally had to be like, what is The Inspection? I was just like, I had no idea, like it was on a radar at this point.
It's good. It's like another one that's a bit of a tough watch, but I thought it was very, very, very well done and
then
inspiring.
I also haven't seen After Yang yet. I really want to see After Yang.
That too.
I need to do that too.
I just recorded a ladies' night with Haley Lou Richardson, and the entire time I was kicking myself for not having seen that sooner.
Not having seen it,
yeah. I was very mad. She was wonderful,
though. That's good.
All right, Steven's here. I can see Brendan Fraser being this year's Kristen Stewart. Lots of critics' awards buzz peaks too soon. Overall, movie getting mixed reactions like Spencer did. I don't know if that's going to be the case here, because I also I'm getting the feeling that he's also very well liked and supportive, and people are excited to get behind this comeback narrative. I mean, here's a good random example for you. A ladies' night that just went live today that I highly recommend watching, because I'm a big believer that she gives one of the best performances of 2022 and is also one of the most promising actors this industry has. Taylor Russell for Bones and All. We were talking about the movies that inspired her to get into acting, and she picked The Mummy, and she was telling me about how like she had a crush on him growing up, and then also like went on a little bit of a tangent about how excited she is for him and all the good that's happening to him. And that's one example, but I have a feeling there are many examples of people feeling that way for him, right? And
Yeah.
also he is working that circuit well. And I'm not saying like he's manipulating all of it. Like he's
Right.
like comes across, at least obviously I don't know him personally, but based on my interview with him and other interviews I've seen of his, he seems like one of the most like sincere, heartfelt, passionate people. And I just have a feeling that's going to make a very, very good impression over the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah, I mean, his story is just so like marred with so much shittiness. Like like he deserves it. Like that's what you're saying. Like it is genuine. Like I believe everything from him. I want to see him win it so bad, like so very badly.
All right.
Try this one and then get to the.
I have a great answer for this. What
Yeah, I was gonna say.
2022 movie should get all the awards but probably won't get nominated? I'm not going to say it deserves all the awards, but I'll repeat something I already said on FYC because I believe it, and the more I say it, the more people will be aware of how fucking good she is in this movie. Mia Goth should be getting a Best Actress nomination for Pearl in particular. She is great in both X and Pearl, but Pearl is like her in the spotlight in the best possible ways. You know what story I told, Matt? I told the story where we were waiting in line for the Parasite Oscar party. And like we're like, oh, like we're not gonna get in because we're too far back in line. And then we look behind us, and who is standing behind us? Mia Goth. Like this acting goddess is behind us at an Oscar party.
We're like we should leave just in case somebody can get in. It's not us.
That should never have been the case in a million years. And it's just like thinking about that and thinking about how much of a warm embrace her work is getting right now, and how she's finally getting that spotlight time that she has deserved for many, many years, where she crushes it in a supporting capacity. Just about time. About time.
I'm still gonna stick with Fallout. Again, maybe not all the awards, but like performance wise, like.
Well, it still has I mean, it should have gotten Emmy love. The problem with that is it went to HBO Max. Yeah. But if for anyone in the Critics' Choice TV branch, if there's an opportunity to vote for it, you never know, it could still get some love.
It's true. That's true.
All right, you want to have this Double West one take us out?
Yep, I agree.
All righty. Hi, Perri and Matt. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Any weekend horror recommendations? And my 2023 resolution is to go to film fests. Any blogs or resources you recommend for film fest newbies? Also, I want to shout out the Merri Hour community for always making me feel welcome when I'm able to hop into the live chat. That was a great question. I'm excited to answer it, Wes, but like this makes me so incredibly happy. And Matt, I don't want to speak for you, but I have a feeling it makes you quite happy too.
You can speak for me in that. In that one time, you can speak for me.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Blood Relatives just came out on Shudder, so if you have Shudder, it's a cute father-daughter vampire coming-of-age movie, and that's the best way to say it. It's not doing anything crazy as like a reinventing the vampire wheel, but it's just adorable. So yeah, there you go. Like that's a good one. But also, I will say that it's hard to recommend. Obviously, if we're doing like a horror recommendation, but like I want to squeeze Nanny in there too, because Nanny's on Prime Video, and I really feel like those Prime Video releases are really under marketed, so people don't know they're there. But like it is horror. It's not traditional horror, so
I'll jump on board with Nanny, but it's only in theaters this week. I don't think it hits Prime Video until until December 12th, if I'm right. But that is one that's either well worth waiting until it hits Prime Video, and also well worth paying the money to have the theatrical experience of seeing it right now. So I'll back that one up, and I'll also throw back out Wednesday, just because like like gothic horror, young adult vibes. It's just like, I don't know. I find that series to be a joy to watch, and I love it so much.
Also, just get Shudder for Deadstream. If you still haven't seen Deadstream, go see Deadstream.
Deadstream is great too. That's a good
I'm
time.
gonna recommend it every weekend. Yeah, go ahead.
Lupe. I was so mad when Reese Witherspoon was nominated for Walk the Line, and even more so when she won. Are there any nominations / wins that made you mad?
So, all right, it's not that it made me mad, but like all the times that like Scorsese should have won an Oscar, and like what he got it for was basically just like a makeup, I would say. Like the one time that was just like, listen, we fucked up, but like here, we're gonna give you this one. Like, so it doesn't make me mad, but I just wish like there would be less instances of people getting Oscars for things that like they don't deserve them for as much than when they should have gotten it prior. But it almost feels like the Academy going like, well, yeah, we still haven't given him one, and we really should have by this point. So like, fuck.
I don't know if any have made me like mad. I think
I mean, well, like I take this back. No, fuck that. Green Book.
Oh.
Yeah, Green Book made me mad. That can yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think like I wouldn't have picked it to win. I think I have a
No,
hard
Green Book made me mad that it won.
I think the things that make me mad most of all are when horror movies have like either the horror movie itself or have work in it that don't get nominations because they're in the horror genre. Like that makes me mad. Like when Toni Collette didn't get a nomination, that made me mad.
Yes.
But like when things win, I have like an impossible time not being happy for the person whose work is being celebrated. And I always just try to remind myself that even though I wouldn't have picked that, like clearly there were a lot of people who did pick it. So
no, Green Book makes me mad because the movie made people mad who were affected by it. So no, we're not okay with that one.
I get that one. Travis is gonna close us out. I recently rewatched Paul Giamatti and Clive Owen in the sarcastic action movie Shoot 'Em Up. Giamatti should be in everything. I haven't watched this movie in forever. Maybe I should give it a rewatch.
It's a loony. He's playing Bugs Bunny, but as an action hero. It's hilarious. Like Shoot 'Em Up, Crash. Sorry, not Crash. Wow, Shoot 'Em Up, Crank, and Smoking Aces are like that perfect late.
You were thinking of Crash because the Oscar question, weren't you?
Well, and so I just saw Crash listed a bunch of times in the chat. But yeah, like those three action movies of like the late 90s, early 2000s action are like the perfect trifecta.
All right. This is it. We have to go. We have to go because I have an appointment to get like Amelia, if she's listening, she'll know. I need to get a dress altered so I can actually wear it to an upcoming premiere.
Well, that's fun.
I need to bolt for that appointment. But before we leave and say goodbye, what would you like to promote, Matt?
As always, at Donato Bomb on Twitter, Letterboxd, Instagram, and now Hive. So there are 4 places to follow me, and I will be talking about movies and lots of horror things and lots of reviews.
I will promote the Taylor Russell Ladies Night, which went live today. Then on Sunday, I have a ladies' night pre-party with Nikiato Jusu, who directed Nanny. And like, if you are someone who is an aspiring filmmaker, you're in film school, you just have interest in what it takes to get a career started in this industry, like everything she says in that interview is just absolute gold. So I would recommend it for that mainly. And then on Monday, if you're a fan of White Lotus season 2, I have Haley Lou Richardson's episode going live. And there's already a clip of her talking about Portia's fashion, which like usually I don't care too much about fashion, but like it's a really hot topic of conversation, and it's fascinating watching people get all fiery about it on social media, and she flat out addressed it all. So it's a great clip. Check that out. That is it. We will wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving and a lovely holiday weekend. Stay safe, enjoy your friends and family, and we will see you next weekend with another Merri Hour. Goodbye.